Welcome to Culinary Quick Bites. Today, we're going to review how to measure foods by volume. Now, accurately measuring food items is a critical step in producing quality meals. In this lesson, we're going to focus on measuring foods by volume. Now, volume refers to the amount of space or capacity a product takes up in a three-dimensional space. In a food production kitchen, volume is utilized for measuring very few ingredients. The foods that we want to measure by volume are fluid, liquid items and small amounts of dry ingredients such as flour, sugar, baking powder, etc. Now you're going to notice on the USDA standardized recipes that units of measure are listed in two ways. It's listed by weight and it's listed by the word measure. Now that listing really means volume. So you want to make sure that whenever you're seeing that listing and utilizing that, it refers to volume. The other reason that they list both weight and volume for a lot of items is because sometimes schools don't have scales or the scales they have are inaccurate. But whenever available, you want to use a scale to weigh all your dry ingredients. I'm going to review a few of the different measuring tools that you can use to measure by volume. All right, and again, these are, when we're talking about fluid, liquid, we're going to be using these clear measures. And they're great because they indicate how much liquid by volume is in each of these as you look at the line. Another type of measure is a dry measure. Here we have an aluminum one. I find these to be less accurate, and one of the reasons for that is because they're made of aluminum and people put them through the dishwasher, they can tend to get dented and banged up and end up being inaccurate because they've been misshapen and it's no longer accurate with the amount of volume put in there. We're going to go ahead and use a clear measure here to measure out 1 cup of some soy sauce that I'm going to be using for a stir fry later. Now, when we're measuring out our ingredients, it's important to get down at eye level so that you can see the meniscus that runs around the side of it. The meniscus is the curved line that is seen at the surface of a liquid vessel, marking the amount of liquid in there for the measure. I'm going to go ahead and open this up, get down at eye level, and start adding in my soy sauce. All right, perfect. One of the reasons you want to get down at eye level is as I'm looking here from the top down, it looks like it's not at the actual line, but when I get down at eye level, I can see that it very much is. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is using a measuring cup on dry goods to measure volume. Now, like I said earlier, we don't really want to use measuring cups if at all possible. It's not ideal, but it is okay. Now I'm going to show you the best ways to utilize these tools so that you're getting the best results. And I'm going to do a comparison here with 2 identical measuring cups. They both weigh the same amount, so we're going to go ahead and tear this out to make sure it's the same for both of these. All right, so the first example we're going to do is the improper way. And that's going to be to just go ahead and scoop into the flour. We got a whole wheat flour here. All right, so we scooped it in. We're going to go ahead and level it off with a flat edge. All right, now we're going to weigh that. That weight comes out to 5.7. All right, we're going to move this off. The proper way to do it is to fluff your flour and then spoon the flour into the measuring cup. This way we're not condensing and packing all of that flour into there. So spoon it in, you can overflow it a little bit. Again, we're going to use a flat edge here. We're going to scrape it off. And now we're going to go ahead and measure the one that's not been packed, that's been spooned in. And that comes out at 5.2. So there's a big difference between those. So for accuracy, you want to make sure that you're spooning the product into the measuring cup because when you pack it in there, you actually end up putting more product in the same amount of space, and that's not the way that the recipe was intended to be done. Please remember, the measurements of weight and volume are not interchangeable. So whenever practical, use the right tool to get the job done right. Fluid ingredients go in a measure, dry ingredients are measured by weight. All right? Thanks for joining me. We'll see you on the next Culinary Quick Bites.